Moment of truth. Let's see. Come on, it wants to go. Come on. All right, guys. So in today's video, we are here with my new to me 535i, and this 535i, I found it for pretty much nothing. It was $1,000 in Oklahoma, and I live in Texas. And I just saw the Facebook ad. I was like, don't look at Facebook. Don't look at Facebook. And then I looked at Facebook and immediately saw this one popped up, and I'm like, ah, shit. So I hooked up the Xterra, and we got a tow rig from U-Haul, and we put this thing on it because it doesn't run. And I'm almost 100% certain it's the fuel pump, because it's always the fuel pump on these cars. Every E34 that's been sitting for years, this one's been sitting for 2 years, that's been sitting for years, fuel pump, bad. Change it, starts, perfect. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start out with changing out the fuel pump, and then we're gonna slowly try to make this car as presentable as possible. So we're gonna do a deep decontamination, we're gonna do all the maintenance items, and then we should have a halfway decent 535. If you're wondering, why is it so far down my driveway and not inside the garage to work on? That's because I can't push it up. I had like 3 people and we can't push it up. I didn't realize how heavy these E34s are. And we had like 3 people pushing it and we just couldn't get it past this point. So we're gonna get it running here, and then we're gonna move it to the garage and finish the rest of the stuff. All right, so we're in the trunk. The fuel pump sits right here. Before you start, make sure you get your safety goggles, and I highly recommend a good mask. I didn't used to wear masks when I do fuel system stuff, and nobody really tells you, but when I used to do this all the time being like 4 times, fuel pump stuff, you get it in your nostrils, all of that stuff, it burns, especially if you're in close quarters. I'm outside right now, so it's a little bit better, but even still, you don't want those vapors in your nose. It will burn your nose, and I actually lost a lot of smell because of it. So get a good mask, one of these that actually do vapor stuff removal, and then get started on your project. So we'll start with just the goggles, and when I get the fuel tank out, or the full thing out, and I start smelling gas, I'll put the mask on. I know masks kind of suck. So got the top level off. Let's get some smaller ones. I think these are 10 mil. Is it 10 or 9? No, it looks like 10. Okay, so that's really nasty in there. I don't know if you can see it. That's the old fuel pump. What is that? You can see all that nastiness. It's definitely varnishy. Good. Oh, it's a little rusty. It's a little unhappy down there. Okay, so maybe I should drain the fuel tank. But what I'll do first, I'll change that fuel pump out, see how that looks. It definitely looks bad from up there. And then we'll go back and decontaminate that fuel, and then put fresh fuel in. So this is what we got working with. We got to put this new fuel pump where this old cruddy fuel pump is. And so the good thing, we don't have to take this off, I think, which means we just have to take these off, and these are the ones that are easier-ish. Hey, that kind of works. And this stinks. I hate working on fuel. And it doesn't even smell like fuel, by the way. This is straight varnish. This has been sitting more than 2 years. I don't know what the guy is talking about. Here, we're just gonna do some hacks here. I think we have enough fuel line to reach. There we go. Okay, so it's actually the next day, and I actually waited because we needed a fuel filter, not the strainer, because the pump that I got didn't come with a strainer, and I didn't want to put it back in with all that crap, and there's no strainer. And I was like, while I'm in there, instead of trying to drain the tank, I went and got this pump from Amazon. It was like 20 bucks, and that should make putting gas. It's specifically for gas, so it should be putting gas into the gallon. I got like a 5-gallon jug too. We'll see if this is adequate enough. I don't think there's that much gas in there, but we'll take it out and find somewhere to dispose of that properly, and then put everything back in and put some fresh fuel. By the way, this smells like varnish. It smells terrible. This one. What the heck? How is that supposed to stay in? Do I have to hold it this whole time? Okay, I guess I'm holding it the whole time. Cheap stuff. But it's fast, it's pulling good. This thing is stupid. Okay, it's actually not that bad in here. It looked way worse in camera yesterday. I think with better lighting, you can see it's not too bad. And I don't think the fuel, I mean, it's varnished for sure, but it's mostly out now. We can put some fresh fuel. I think it'll be good. Okay, so I got the new fuel strainer. And we have the pump still here. So we'll put that on the pump, which is great. Let's tighten this guy. So the new thing is here. I tied it down for the pump. And let's put it back in now that it's kind of clean in there. Kind of clean-ish. Okay, so I got some fresh gas. For some reason, I actually had to buy a whole new gallon thing because I still have the old gas in the car. Apparently, nobody wants to recycle this gas. I have no idea where to do with it. I don't want to be a bad person and dump it in the grass, but I don't know what to do with it. It's sitting in the car. We're going to figure it out. If anybody knows where to get rid of this, especially in Plano, let me know, because Waste Management doesn't even take care of it. Oh, wow, this is locked. Or some... Holy crap, that's a bee's wasp's nest. Here, I'll take a video. There's literally a wasp's nest in this. Pretty sure there's no wasps in there, but that's nasty. Yeah, so that's about 3.5, 4 gallons-ish. All right, moment of truth time. Let's see. Time to hook this thing up. All right, I think I got it hooked up correctly, maybe. Okay, so I have to jerry-rig my motorcycle battery up. I have a lithium battery somewhere. And hopefully this is enough, because that battery is so shorted, it won't let the jump pack connect. So now I'm gonna just help the little battery out. I'm gonna put this jump pack so that will equate to, there you go, see, now we're getting power. So hopefully enough to start this baby up. Moment of truth. Let's see. Let's prime the fuel pumps a little bit. Fuel pump. I hear it kicking on. That's a good thing. Let's see. Come on, it wants to go. Come on. I feel it. I feel it wanting to go. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Okay, so I found the fuel pump fuse, and I think that's our culprit for not starting still. I think probably the old pump was dead. That's a 7.5 amp. What is it rated for? Let's see, fuel pump 23. 23 is... number 23. That's a 15 amp fuse. They had a 7.5 amp fuse in there. So that's probably why the fuel pump's not running now. So let's change it out with that 15, what is it, 15 amp? 15 amp fuse to the fuel pump. Yep, 15 amp. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so I put more gas in it. I got it, a new battery. It's not really the right size, but it'll do. Hopefully. Let's see if it works. Still showing almost no gas. So going through it, I am gonna have to start debugging this problem a little bit more. I don't want to pull the tank out right away, so I'm gonna do one quick test before I do pull the sender unit. I think it's a bad fuel pump that's just faulty from default. When I bought it, it looked like it was returned, so I was like, eh. But I got another fuel pump, and if we have to replace it, we'll replace it. Otherwise, I'll return it. And but let's check this out first and make sure there's not a short in the fuse, or not in the fuse, in the relay. And if it's a relay fuse or wiring fuse on the car side, we can diagnose that. But hopefully it's just the pump again, which hopefully or unhopefully, because I don't enjoy taking the fuel out. I hate the smell of fuel. So we're gonna have to do that again probably. Based on the forums, they said we can do a continuity test. And to do continuity test, you put it on the one with the like signal, and it beeps if there is an issue. And what I think it is these are the two pins. Okay, so this is the fuel pump. I believe these are 4 and 5. And if these two connect, then there's continuity, there's a short. So on this pin side, actually I'm gonna do both sides just to make sure, because I can't remember which side it is. Yeah, there's no we're not getting continuity here or here, which is good. So I guess it's not in the harness. Let's check on the car side. I think it's the top one. Yep. Okay, so there's a short. The indicates there's a short. It's the top two higher end ones, and those are the positive and negative for the fuel pump. So likely there's a short, and we're gonna have to pull this all back apart and start over. I'm gonna skip to having this removed, and I'll show you guys what happened. Maybe it's the wiring internal to the thing, because it's quite old, and we might have to do a wiring repair. So we have it all taken apart. Now there's a few suspect areas. So for example, where these two connect, there looks like there's nothing blocking them. So that might be the issue, the wiring here. Okay, or it could be internal. So the first thing we're going to test is continuity. And continuity, we're going to test it on the new pump just as a viable. Okay, so the forums lied to me. And the pump is always going to show continuity because it connects. See, that's what I was worried about. They do connect. Okay, so the forums were wrong. This is a known good pump, brand new, and it shows continuity. So this whole test is crap. Lovely. So what we'll need to test instead, I guess, is these wires. These shouldn't connect. So we'll take this off and then test the actual wires by themselves without the pump connected. Because, of course, if you test them now, continuity. It makes sense because it completes the circuit. I never understood why they would tell me to test continuity. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to try and take these guys off. Now we can check continuity between the wires. That at least will give us some indication. We're eliminating the pump out of the factor. And see if these are in contact somewhere. Okay, no continuity, which is good. Let's wiggle them a little bit, because I think it was like this in the pump. So I'm pretty sure the issue's in here. Let's cut this open a little bit. They have no more insulation between the two wires. Yeah, you see, the insulation is just destroyed. The problem is, I don't know if it's my smoking gun. Like here, knows I don't get any continuity. The only time I get continuity is if I really push on them. Like this continuity, no continuity. Definitely a problem. Let's see. Obviously, this is continuity. So the question is, do I take the pump out and put the other pump and just eliminate that, or do I try and just fix the wiring and see if that fixes the issue? I'm just saying it because I'm lazy. Otherwise, I should probably take the pump out. So I went to the auto parts store and I got a bunch of good stuff, including high strength 14 gauge wire, which I think is enough for this. And it gives us approximately 17 amps, and I think the fuse is 15 amp fuse. So we're good there. And what I'm gonna try and do is just cut it from here, and then I'll use these joiners. These are weatherproof ones, and then we'll shrink wrap the whole thing with this high quality shrink wrap. Hopefully it's good for gas. I think it is. They're SLX wires. I think those are gas rated. We'll see. They're the best ones that O'Reilly sells. Okay, let's take this apart. Great. So we'll separate the wires from the fuel wires. And hope this goes well, because I don't want to buy a new fuel cylinder unit. They're like 500 bucks, and it sort of defeats the point of a cheap car at that point. So I'm gonna cut it a little bit high up so we have a little bit of room. But first, let me test out. I bought this new wire stripping tool, and I'm hoping it makes better stripping, because I don't want to mess up the very delicate wires that are still left over. Even though we're changing most of the wiring, the end I don't want to solder anything, so we're gonna join them. So we'll test it on this new stuff and see how it does, and if it goes good, we'll test it on the old one, because we have a lot of extra new wiring. You squeeze. Okay. And you pull. How does this work exactly? No, that just looks like it's cutting it. Oh no, it does work. Okay, so it splices it. I just have to push harder. Wow, that's pretty sick. So it works like that. All right, so now that we cut that, we're gonna join it somewhere here. We want about the same amount of line. I think that's acceptable. Right here is where we were gonna cut. So we'll use this guy to cut the initial, get a little bit longer. Okay, so now we have essentially, with the join, it should be like there. A little bit shorter, but should suffice. Okay, and the larger one is negative. The positive is smaller, so we'll use the red one just for whoever looks at this next, not that it matters. The smaller one is red. From here, oh, that hurt to do. Okay, that actually really hurt, because it's like you only pretty much got one shot at this. So as you can see, if you can see it, we got this connected here. And we'll take our crimper, old tool, this old guru, put it right there. And when we heat this up, this will shrink. And I'm gonna heat wrap this too, because as you can see, this is actually deteriorated too. So we'll use some of that shrink wrap even on that end. And then we'll shrink wrap the whole thing together afterwards. Yep, just like this. This is the high temp rated one. So we should be good against high temperatures. We should be good against, hopefully, gasoline. The most important part, chemicals. Okay. And you see, we'll shrink wrap this to this. That provides an extra layer of insulation there. And then I'll put a shrink wrap across both of the wires together to keep them together. But for now, man, this one is just gonna come out by itself. There you go. Solved itself. Man, that's some bad wiring. Blue with blue. Squeeze. Ooh. So this is actually the unsatisfying part. Okay, great. because like you never know if you put enough pressure. And then if you don't put enough pressure, okay, you don't want loose in the gas, right? It's like the worst place to have anything loose. But see, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna shrink wrap this guy, just like that. Perfect. And look, you have protection here. These two are together. Hopefully this will seal them. This is thick gauge plastic, high temp stuff. All the connections are pretty. So I'm gonna shrink wrap these to the original wiring. I have these weatherproofing connectors, and then I have shrink wrap just to make sure everything is insulated. Put them through this also shrink wrap, thick, nice, thick, high temp gauge wires. These connect to. I'm gonna shrink wrap the ends so they are all protected, and we have a new fuel tank harness. Lovely. Okay, so this is the workbench, and I should have done all this on the workbench, but now is a good time. So I got the heat gun. We're just going to heat up this guy. The heat gun, watch your fingers because those get hot. And we'll just do okay, that hurts the fingers. Alright, now just for the sake of testing, we're gonna make sure there's no continuity between these two wires, which I would be really upset if there is after all that. Of course there's not, because no wires is touching. Let's move this around a little bit. Kind of hard to do. Put it in between the device. So that's a little different angle. No continuity. That's what you want to see. Ooh, I just burned myself. Okay, that's still hot. Let's not burn this wire. I'm here when you need my perfect. And I have the other piece for this guy somewhere else, but this is all disgusting. I don't think it's gonna tell me the right fuel level, if I'm being honest with you. Should probably clean this up. I think that will work again, kind of. Oh, this is so foobarred. This is so bad. I'm not really gonna try too hard on this. I'm just gonna spray it a little bit to get rust so it doesn't get worse, I guess. Maybe it gives it some lubrication. I'm not really sure if this is gonna do anything. And I don't want to scrub oxidation out, to be honest. I don't care if it tells me the right fuel. Plus, I'll just be happy if it runs and drives good. All right, so I got the new fuel pump in. I put some new hardware up here because those other ones were tired. Hooked it all up. Now I just need to go put a new fuse in the fuel pump thing. Plug the battery back in, so. Fuse, fuel pump, 15. That's how much it's supposed to have. I've got a new battery. It's a little bit oversized. Hopefully I can close the seats at the end. Okay. There we go. Barely goes in. Pray, hope and pray, because everything is rewired. I think the fuel pump kicked on. I hear something. I hear a lot of things, actually. Let's prime it. It shows the fuel is full. There's no way the fuel is full. Okay, so yeah, definitely messed up that. But the good thing is it's reading something. It's always going to show the fuel is full. It's a good thing. All right. I think that's enough priming. Oh, thank God it started. And it actually sounds good. Let's hope it doesn't turn off like last time. But man, it's sounding pretty good. Wow, she's smooth. So this is after 2 years. Let's close this guy back up. Sitting for so long, this nasty smoke. But I don't think there's any because I changed out the gas. Ooh, she sounds good. Doesn't even smell bad. Everything's situated and we know it drives. Let's take it for its maiden voyage. Yeah, let's go. Please start again. Once is good luck, twice it works. Aha! She still starts right up. Do the windows work? This window works. Oxygen. And it doesn't sound like the window regulator is bad. I'm not gonna try the other ones yet. Actually. Oh, this window works too. Woohoo! We got 2 working windows. Man, that's some good luck. And the dash looks good, which is pretty rare. Normally it's all cracked up. There's no cracks in this one. Seats need some work, but they're not too bad. I think the centers just need redoing. No, this one's pretty bad. Okay, just kidding. They need reupholstery. Anyway, let's get it going. Brakes are working. Great. Something. I'm crushing something. Probably part of the bumper. It's okay. It's already screwed. Let's see if we get first. Oh, that does not sound good. That sounds transmission-y. That's like no transmission fluid vibe. Huh. I mean, it feels smooth. The transmission shifts into gear fine. That's such a weird sound. Brakes work fine. It's whining. Is that the diff? The diff or the gearbox? I mean, it shifts so smooth. But then again, it just kind of sounds geary. It engages so smooth. The clutch feels great. Yeah, neutral sounds fine. There's something whining. I wonder if it's throwout bearing. It could be the throwout bearing, but it engages so smoothly. I bet you the fluid is just ancient on that gearbox. Yeah, it's whenever I engage the gear. Okay, let's pull the M2 out and put this guy in. All right, we finally got it running, and it runs great, as you guys saw. Now, we got to figure out what the transmission issue is. That's on the list, so I'll give you guys the future timeline. So the next video you see, you're going to see the entire thing get a fresh makeover. I'm talking about full paint correction, full, you know, satisfying video of cleaning out, taking out the seats, cleaning the inside, the floors. I already have a new front bumper for it because obviously I destroyed the front bumper. It was kind of already destroyed when I got it, but I destroyed it more getting it off the tow truck, and it just fell completely, like plop. But we have a new front bumper that's already white that's going to go on. We're going to do all the paint, and then there's a few spots where it's missing paint or there's a little bit of like surface rust on some stuff. I'm going to sand that down. I'm going to get some paint match, and we're going to sit there and paint match the small parts of it, touch-up paint. You can notice here that there's some missing paint here as well. We're going to see what we can do for all that, and it's going to look, hopefully, completely transformed. Then after that video, we're going to go through the fluids, and I'm pretty sure the sound we're hearing is transmission or rear differential. It sounds, it's only when you engage, and I'm like 90% sure it's the rear diff. 20% is the transmission, because the transmission feels amazing. It doesn't feel like it's catchy or anything. It's just whiny. Everything is whining. So we're going to change the trans fluid. We're going to change the diff fluid. Hopefully the diff didn't blow up. I think it's just incredibly low on fluid. And after that, we'll do also an oil change, and maybe we'll touch up, do spark plugs, anything. I mean, it runs really good. The motor sounds solid. I was going to do coils and stuff, but I don't think it needs it. Anyway, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, because we're going to do a lot more stuff with this car. And I know there's a little bit of, the video kind of failed in certain parts. My camera sort of ran out of memory. But if you guys did like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and next video we're going to do a makeover.